NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Lights, camera, action. Pictures are created in accordance with the creative vision of the photographer. The ability of a photographer to express perceptions and emotions in order to convey an impression connotes the art of photography. Most photographic works show aesthetic qualities. Some create an illusion, while some abstract photos may paint a deeper meaning from the ordinary. All this depicts the creativity of this artistry. In the early decades of the 19th century, photography captured more detail and information than the traditional methods of replication, like painting and sculpture. Today, photography still remains a unique art form that demands creative thinking from the photographer. We all love taking pictures, but there's a whole lot that goes into making our pictures look flawless. In this artistry, every detail counts.
I'd usually like to start with one light and then improve my lighting style up to the point when I get the kind of picture I want to shoot. So I'll start with this. This is always called the main light, and I'm going to start the main light on camera right. Okay, fine. So the next thing I need to do now is to position her. I like you to sit down, look towards this light. You can put one foot up, one foot down, make yourself relax. Come to the edge of the stool. Good. Fine. Are you relaxed enough? All right, so just smile, and let's see how this goes. Fantastic. So with every shot I take, I begin to readjust my camera till I achieve what I want to see. So right now, there's too much lighting coming on her face, so I'm going to have to work on my lighting style and try it again. And, well, it looks much better this time around. This is one light setup, and when I took the first light, there was so much light, I had to adjust my settings, and she looks more like this now.
New technological trends in digital photography have opened a new direction in full-spectrum photography, where careful filtering choices across the ultraviolet lead to new artistic visions. This art entails careful staging and lighting of the picture.
I'm going to make it very simple, so I'm going to just add one more light, and then I'm done. This light I'm adding is called a hair light or a rim light. It allows the picture to have a form, and so I can see her in a beautiful place. Beautiful. You see the picture has changed again. You notice there's a rim light now that has created a form. When you look at the first one, it was bare, and the second one has some form of rim between it. And then from here we go into post-production and print. This is the picture, and it comes in two formats. It comes as a JPEG, which is a camera processed option, and it comes as a RAW version, which is the original version with the camera shot the picture. So I'm going to edit this in RAW right now. So I start with this. Good, so the picture is out now, and I start to work on it. Luckily, she has a very fresh face, which is an advantage. So I may not do as much. I just have to work on the colors of her dress, her lips, make her hair look beautiful. I'm going to paint her up in lights and shadows now. I'm putting a bit of darkness to her face.
The stages of photograph has evolved over the years. In amateur processing, the film is removed from the camera and wound onto a reel in a dark room. But technology has taken a new dimension in this artistry.
Technology has overtaken all of that now. Makes it easier for a lot of people, makes it more accessible for a lot of people. Back in the days, they had a few labs that did darkroom clean, washing as it was known in the day. But today we have a download, edit, upload, and print very, very quickly. And then you can see how far we have gone in the last few minutes. So this is the original picture. And then this is the Photoshop picture. The colors have changed. She had a red look initially. Now it's looking more like her skin tone. The dress is bluer, which is making more. And then you see her hairline. I've defined her hairline more. And then you see the little imperfections we had initially have been removed to give us a, so to speak, final finish. We're good to print. I'm viewing the image right now, and I'm going to send to this little printer here, which does my emergency prints. Beautiful. And she's ready to go.
After so much skill and time spent, the end result is indeed worth it. Or what do you think?
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayo Deji Makinde. Reports just reaching us now, we can confirm to you that President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after the Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit in Istanbul, where the president made some presentation. Let's move on the news and tell you that electricity power supply has been restored to Maiduguri, the Borno State's capital, having experienced total blackout for 11 months. Gomso Bukar has the details.
The year 2021 will remain memorable for residents of Maiduguri, having begun the year with total blackout and now ending it with restoration of power. It was celebration galore for inhabitants of Blunkutu area of Maiduguri metropolis as the 11 months of nightmare is over.
This 11 months we have no light, but now we are really appreciate for the arrival of the electricity in Borno State.
The borehole was working, water is flowing everywhere.
As far as my neighbor got light, it means the same thing, so no problem. I feel very happy.
Flagging of restoration of electricity to Maiduguri and its environs, Borno State Governor, represented by Commissioner for Housing and Energy, Engineer Yugude Salevungas, commended resilience of the people.
There are so many measures that we have taken to ensure that power has been sustained and then to put them under security tight.
Our demand for Maiduguri is about 70 megawatts, so we have to give our feeders 6 hourly.
With this temporary 18 megawatts power supply, the burden on use of alternative sources of energy will be reduced in no small measure.
Having experienced total blackout for almost a year now, the temporary electricity power line now operational will no doubt be a turning point for residents of Maiduguri who have suffered untold socio-economic challenges. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
As part of efforts to reposition the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, stakeholders are strategizing to prioritize long-term objectives that will promote the socio-economic development of communities affected by operations of hydroelectric dams. Ijoma Ugweke reports.
The federal government established the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, to address ecological challenges faced by communities in 6 states of Niger, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Benue, and Plateau. Hence the retreat of the Governing Council and relevant stakeholders from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission. They need to prepare the vision of the act that established the commission. Members were challenged to be abreast with information on prospective strategic partners for the commission, risk analysis, monitoring and evaluation techniques, and other areas demand necessary for accomplishment of the mandate of the commission.
The
also must find ways of speaking directly to the women, to the men, and to the youth and the children in this whole catchment area to know exactly what they would like to have done for them.
Some executives of the Commission, while assuring adequate implementation of the mandate of the Commission, highlighted some of the proactive steps taken by the Commission that is gradually changing the narrative of the conditions of the communities.
We're very confident that in the very nearest time you will start seeing projects that are being executed by Hyperdeck.
As a result of the enumeration exercise we have done, we have identified over 150 communities that need immediate pipe and water provision, and as a result we have submitted our request for no objection to the Bureau for Public Procurement for the award of solar powered borehole.
The Hyperdeck, established in 2010, came to limelight in January 2021. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Kano State government will avail its citizens of maximum benefits derivable from innovations in science and technology, in tune with the agenda of the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stated this while receiving the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Ogbonaya Onu, who is on inspection visits to some technology incubation centers in the state. Elizabeth Yilla reports.
Agencies of interest visited by the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Ogbonaya Onu, include the National Biotechnology Development Agency, Master Metrology Company, and the Technology Incubation Center in Kano, to assess the progresses made in promoting innovation and technological skills. The minister also paid homage on Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, commending his efforts for making Kano the oasis of peace and security and a befitting environment for the advancement of technology and innovation.
What we saw in the first place is clearly a large-scale enterprise. I think these are all success stories that we should all be proud of. I believe that maybe by next year we will have many, many more examples of this nature.
Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje expressed appreciation to the minister for investing in the state through the numerous projects being executed.
You can see how much we enjoy all these workshops that you create in Kano State. So, Honorable Minister, we assure we will build stronger synergy with your office in order to take Kano to the next level.
The governor added that harnessing innovations will also help in the socio-economic development of the state. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila, NTA News.
Nigeria has launched a national research and capacity building project for the implementation of a deep decarbonization pathway program. Onengiye Fine Face reports that the project is under the framework of the 2050 facility funded by the French Development Agency.
Deep Carbonization Project is an initiative of the federal government to mobilize and reinforce local capacities for scientific analysis of low emissions pathways, as well as produce country-specific low emissions development strategies.
There is still a need to better understand the quantities of emission reductions that can be made from each of the sectors of the economy, such as power, oil and gas, transport, agriculture, industry, and several others. But we need to have a better understanding of how rapidly such emissions can be made in tandem with sustainable economic growth, the technologies that will be needed, and the wider economic and social implications of rapid emission reduction pathways.
The project launch aims to build community ownership and supports for Nigeria's long-term climate action plans, including the goal of net zero carbon emissions by 2060.
Methodologies addressing climate change effects were mostly initiated by northern countries, but we need to include local content when it comes to implementing them in sub-Saharan Africa.
The framework for the project was established through a memorandum of understanding by the federal government and French Development Agency signed in December 2020. Omengie Fine Face, NTA News.
Nigerians have been told to remain supportive of the federal government's policies and programs to enable it to provide more dividends of democracy to them. Minister of Women Affairs Dame Pauline Tallen, while speaking at the inauguration of flooding and erosion control project in Dengi, Plateau State, stated this. Felicia Samaila has the details.
The inauguration of the project is a dream come true for the people of Kano. The project is expected to address the devastating effects of erosion and flood, as well as restore vehicular and pedestrian movement, thereby boosting socio-economic activities of the people.
Using it to connect other communities were indeed overwhelmed. We are very appreciate this government to recognize us.
The Gisharet-Albushi Flood and Erosion Control Intervention, executed by the Ecological Project Office, has no doubt underscored federal government's concerted efforts in tackling environmental challenges in the country.
Let me also reiterate the present administration's commitment to continue with the implementation of all genuine government policies, agreements and contracts. I therefore call on you all as the benefiting community to see the project as yours.
The project was initiated through the request for urgent intervention forwarded to the Ecological Project Office.
The 75-meter span bridge is one of the 18 ecological intervention projects approved by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018. From Dengi, Kanam local government area, Felicia Daliop Samaila, NTA News.
We'll now join our Lagos Network Center, where Adiola will be our guide on Nationwide. Good evening, Adiola. It's over to you.
Good evening, Aya. Thank you. There is an urgent need for state governments to commit more resources to the education sector with a view to complementing federal government's efforts geared towards an all-round development of basic education in the country. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this at the President's National Inter-Basic Schools Debates Championship, which rounded off in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was represented, said it is commendable that the President's National Inter-Basic Schools Debate Initiative has become a veritable platform for students to constructively add their voices to discourse on national development.
Apart from using this competition as a platform to promote national cohesion and unity, it will also serve as an avenue to improve the public speaking skills among our students.
It is against this backdrop that the bank has collaborated with the organizers of this program with the aims of improving critical thinking, reading, and research, persuasion, leadership, teamwork, and all that in these young learners.
Team Kwara emerged national champions at the expense of Team Katsina after they marshaled their points for and against the motion on electronic payment system and treasury single account.
It's very competitive because we meet many teams and they are very big teams and we defeated them.
We have performed very well and the judges tried their best to judge us very well according to our performance.
Team Lagos clinched the third position at the expense of Team Imo. Awards were presented to the best speaker and the best behaved team of the competition. Winners of this year's President's National Interbasic Schools Debate Championship will represent Nigeria in the next international debate competition in Lagos. Musa Toliad, NTA News.
After recording a string of successes in its mandate of protecting Nigeria's maritime domain in year 2021, the Nigerian Navy says it will embrace further innovations aimed at consolidating its numerous achievements going forward. This promise is the highlight of the 2021 ceremonial sunset of the Western Naval Command over Nigerian Navy in Lagos. Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
Doubt
2021 has been a busy year for the Nigerian Navy, working in hard pursuit of its constitutional mandates. While the number of foreign naval ships on port calls to the Western Naval Command, APAPA, offers a clue on the level of its international engagement and synergy, the year ended on a high note with the recent induction of 6 new ships, a helicopter, and 118 boats into the naval fleet. Now, a lookout has sighted the sun receding, and it is time to bring the ship home with fanfare. This 16th century naval tradition of lowering the column at sunset symbolically marks the end of all official naval activities for the year, providing seamen an opportunity to take a beat and re-strategize for the coming year. The Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, says the country's maritime domain must be safe at all times for economic activity to thrive, and this will not be compromised by the Nigerian Navy, the ceremonial sunset notwithstanding.
I also like to urge us all, particularly my colleagues, naval personnel, to spare moments to reflect on the expectations of the maritime stakeholders and brace up to whatever sacrifice we may be called upon to make in ensuring safety in our own maritime environment.
The increasing volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity of the environment we operate in dictates that each and every one of us become innovative and be willing to question long-held assumptions and beliefs.
Presentation of souvenirs was one of the major highlights of the ceremony. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NT News.
Nationwide will continue after this break. Just stay with us.
Every year, we recognize the efforts of young people throughout Africa. Work together with them to make sure that they are not just working but having a purpose, leading the way for others. We're letting them know, recognize their work, and we're committed to helping them further that cause.
Are you ready for the 2021 Future Africa Leaders Awards? It's a unique event designed to appreciate the impact of the great and notable projects by young people all over Africa. It is an opportunity for young leaders who are solving problems across Africa to be nominated for the 2021 Future Africa Leaders Awards.
I once again want to say to Pastor Chris, those young people, what they stood for, what they said, how they acted, how they responded, is a clear indication of what they have been able to achieve through your support.
All entries should be sent to info@futureafricaleadersfoundation.org. For more information, visit www.futureafricaleadersfoundation.org or call the numbers now displayed on your screen. The nomination show is scheduled for the 19th of December 2021 at 6 p.m. GMT+1 and will be aired live on www.futureafricaleadersfoundation.org and all Naval networks. The Future Africa Leaders Foundation, impacting Africa. The 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration is here again. The Nigerian Armed Forces work tirelessly day and night to give us peace to go about our businesses. Some have paid the supreme price. Should we forget the families and loved ones they left behind? No.
I'm therefore privileged to honor these veterans who devoted most of their lives, active lives, to securing the nation and the world at large.
So, let's support the Nigerian Armed Forces and their families, corporate organizations, government agencies, parastatals, and individuals. Let's show our love and support for our armed forces. They are our heroes. Buy the Armed Forces Remembrance Emblem and donate into the Armed Forces Remembrance Emblem Appeal account. We love you, and your labor and sacrifice will not be in vain for spilling your blood for us to live. From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
You're welcome back. Let's move on with some security matters now. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Intelligence Response Team, working with the Taraba State Police Command, have arrested 11 notorious kidnap suspects in Taraba State for their roles in the recent trend of kidnappings incidents in Taraba State, including the kidnapping of a serving personnel of the Nigeria Customs Service. A statement by the force indicates that the arrest was made possible following the deployment of IRT operatives to Taraba State to complement the efforts of the Taraba State Police Command in promptly containing the disturbing trend of kidnapping and other violent crimes in the state. The police, in the course of investigations, identified and raided various criminal hideouts where kidnapped victims were usually kept, while cache of weapons and other incriminating items were recovered from the hideouts. All the kidnapped victims held hostage at the various hideouts were carefully and successfully rescued and hurt and reunited with their families. Meanwhile, investigators are intensifying efforts at arresting other suspects currently at large. The fight against insecurity by the Joint Security Task Force in Imo State has resulted in the discovery of another kidnapper's den in the state. Beatrice Aniam reports that the raid resulted in the recovery of the body of a traditional ruler recently kidnapped from his palace.
The joint operation is the second to be carried out in 1 week by the Security Task Force in Inquiry, Uda, in Osu local government area of Imo State. The Joint Security Task Force, acting on a tip-off, moved in here to foil attempts by the hoodlums to regroup. This exercise led to the recovery of over 10 decomposing bodies of kidnapped victims, including the traditional ruler of Ihiti Hube in Okigwe local government area of Imo State, Eze Paul Obu, and a youth leader who was kidnapped alongside Ezolu, as identified by their family members.
In order to restore the dignity of the human persons that were grossly violated by the hoodlums, the state government, through its health agencies, accompanied the security forces to the camp this morning to excavate and exhume some of the bodies, and that is exactly what they have done, so that they could be given proper burial. All the forces were moved there, and the essence of their going there is to occupy that place.
Although the kidnappers had vacated the area just before the raid, the security forces have pledged commitment to finding them in order to ensure that peace returns to the area. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyem, NTA News.
Cross River State government will continue to support the Nigerian Legion due to the immense contributions of fallen heroes and ex-servicemen in protecting and unifying the country. These are the words of the Deputy Governor of Cross River State, Professor Ivara Esu, during the launch of the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Emblem in Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
The Nigerian Legion was established to cater for the welfare of ex-servicemen and the families of the fallen heroes. In support of this group of persons for their sacrifices to fatherland, the Cross River State government is willing to fulfill all promises made to the association.
As we celebrate our fallen heroes, we should pause to think about their lives, their wives, children, and other dependents left behind in need of assistance. Government, on our part, will continue to honor our commitments towards assisting the Nigerian Legion within the limit of our resources.
Earlier, the Nigerian Legion listed successes made, commended the state government while appealing for the completion of their state secretariat.
I wish to passionately appeal to all present here and other residents in the state to support the Legion by procuring and wearing the emblem with pride to identify with those who laid down their lives for the peace and security of our fatherland.
The Deputy Governor, service commanders, and other dignitaries were decorated with the emblem. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day will be climaxed on 15th January 2022 with the laying of wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NGN News.
The Nigerian Air Force has added to its Force 648 Regiment personnel towards reinvigorating its capabilities. In a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gabquet said the personnel are products of the service, committed to continually pursuing purposeful training and human capacity development for enhanced force protection to secure and protect the citizenry. The quality of training received by the regiment personnel is evident in the deployments in several operational theaters across the country, where they are performing creditably in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations. The trainees, according to the NAF, were tutored towards developing their staff duty capabilities, analytical and communication skills, and also exposed to weapon handling, drill, general service knowledge, and kinetic and non-kinetic warfare techniques. The Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, says the Corps is constantly evolving strategies that have direct bearing and impact for results in the quest to addressing the myriad of insecurity across the country. The CG was speaking at the passing out parade of the Female Strike Force Course 1 of the FCT Command. Onotu Yakubu reports.
An all-female elite special strike force of the Corps designated to the FCT, highly trained in arms handling to swing pendulum of crisis in favor of the nation's security targets. Nigeria presently grapples with pockets of national security challenges. Part of them is the horrific and incessant attacks on institutions of learning. This singular threat bettered the training of this special crack squad.
The Civil Defense Corps is ready to face any security challenge, especially as regards kidnapping of school children, because this female division are charged with the provision of security and safety for our educational institutions.
All these high schools or high-risk schools, where bandits and so on are attacking, they take charge of such schools within the FCT.
Director, FCTA Security, as well as the counterpart from the Federal Ministry of Interior, described the squad as a robust surgical operational asset that will bring succor to the people in the times of trouble.
This initiative is not just quite apt, but very proactive and strategic, especially to address the death of security gaps in our security school institutions.
Operatives of the squad were told to embody strict adherence to standard operational rules of engagement, discipline, integrity, and service to the Corps and the nation. Onotu Yakub, NTA News.
Still on security matters, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, says the Nigerian Navy is investing in high-endurance offshore patrol vessels to sustain naval dominance within the sub-region. Vice Admiral Gambo, who disclosed this in Port Harcourt at the passing out parade of new cadets charged them to get braced for national security and maintain high sense of responsibility. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Hereby confer on each and every one of you, jointly and severally, a commission to the rank of sub-lieutenant in the Nigerian Navy.
The Chief of Naval Staff urged them to contribute their quota to stem the rising security threats. Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Navy and his Senate counterpart were delighted that the federal government investment in the Nigerian Navy is yielding positive results in the nation's fight against insecurity.
So let us be honest to the service to Nigeria. We continue to speak for you, for we are to protect the nation's integrity by injecting this power into the Nigerian Navy and other services in the Navy that will be better move for this country.
Besides armed combat and training in maritime operations, the commandant of the institution says the college has equipped the new officers and men with the requisite knowledge to contribute their quota towards enhancing the nation's security.
The Nigerian Navy will definitely demand much of you as commissioned officers.
43 out of the 196 direct short service corps 28 cadets are female. They were trained in general military service, naval orientation and character development. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Jos is our next stop on Nationwide today. Let's join Zinret, and it's over to you, Zinret.
Thank you, Ayo, and welcome to Jos. The National Directorate of Employment has disbursed loans to more than 400 graduates of Women Empowerment Collaboration Scheme in Plateau State. Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Ntalive, while addressing beneficiaries in Jos, urged them to ensure judicious use of the facilities. Sadat Mohammed Kafa reports.
425 women from the 17 local government areas in Plateau State were trained in different vocational skills for self-reliance. Beneficiaries were given the sum of 100 to 150,000 naira as a starter pack for businesses.
I'm going to use this and put it in my own business of events and decoration.
We are very happy because they are continue empowering the women.
Minister of Women Affairs explains that the federal government is creating jobs for the unemployed and urged beneficiaries to make judicious use of the funds.
I strongly believe that empowering a woman has a multiplier effect.
Minister of State for Labour and Productivity, Festus Keyamo, represented, as well as the Director General, National Directorate of Employment, says federal government has disbursed 100 billion naira through financial institutions, and it has impacted more than 100,000 MSMEs.
The federal government is working out business schemes to generate permanent employment for the unemployed Nigerians.
Governor Simon Lalong, represented, commended federal government for eradicating poverty, especially among women and youths.
NDE has proven itself greatly by achieving her mandate.
High point of the event was the presentation of certificates to the beneficiaries. In Jos, Sadat Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. There's still more reports on Nationwide with Ayo in Abuja.
Thanks, Zinret. Pope Francis has appointed Apostolic Nuncio to the Antilles, Nigeria's Archbishop Fortunatus Nwachukwu, to be permanent observer of the Holy See to the United Nations Office and Specialized Institution in Geneva. Archbishop Nwachukwu is also the permanent observer to the World Trade Organization and the representative of the Holy See to the International Migrations Organization. The cleric will assume the new mission in March 2022. To some political party matters now, efforts to restore normalcy and reconcile aggrieved members of the All Progressives Congress in Niger State are underway with the inauguration of an 11-man committee. This is in a swift reaction to the suit filed by a group of disgruntled members of the party in court. Mukhtar Wowo reports.
As part of the mandate of the reconciliatory team set up by the Niger State APC Working Committee is to go around the 25 local government areas of the state, identify and reconcile disgruntled members of the party.
Whoever is aggrieved in one way or the other, whatever way that person is aggrieved, this committee will reach out to that person or group of persons, interface with them, plead with them to come back to the party and forge ahead.
The state APC chairman Haliru Zakariji Kantoro reacts to the court case by some party members in the state alleging irregularities in the conduct of the October 16 state party congress.
Maybe they felt going to the court may be better for them, but I think it's not good. And very soon with this committee, that case, inshallah, shall be withdrawn.
Standing in for the chairman who is absent today. We follow the terms of reference judiciously, and first we identify the main aggrieved members. So if when we are able to do that, then we proceed from there.
The Barbary-led reconciliatory committee is expected to report back to the state working committee after 4 weeks from the date of its inauguration. In Mina, Mukhtar Wo, NTA News.
Further enshrine the agenda of the Not Too Young to Run Act 2018. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has inaugurated the Southwest Youth and Students Council in Ibadan. Grace Anyoleke reports that the council is to harness youth and students' voting strength for the preservation of the nation's political future.
Empirical evidence reveals that although about 60% of the Nigerian population are youths, less than 10% of them are involved in politics. To right this anomaly, the All Progressives Congress Youths and Students Council was approved in July 2021 for sensitization and mobilization of youths in knowing their rights to vote and be voted for.
We must go back to ensuring at whatever cost that education is made a right, is made part of the fundamental human right of every individual in society. They must remain united, remain focused, they must know what they are doing. The future belongs to all of them. The future is starting today.
With representation from the 6 states of Southwestern Geopolitical Zone, the Council was charged to engage youths through various empowerment schemes across several sectors.
I want to discourage the issue of using youth as a tool for thuggery and some other social vices. Presently, we are giving scholarship out for the less privileged youth to further their education in various institutions.
The All Progressives Congress Youths and Students Council Executive has over 180,000 members nationwide.
Let's also tell you that beyond winning elective positions in 2023, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ebonyi State has repositioned, re-strategized and reinforced to deliver true dividends of democracy to the people with provision of basic amenities. Caleb Ogbonna reports.
Critical stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party PDP from national and state level, in agreement with the state party chairman Honorable Tochukwu Okorie, say PDP is poised to wrestle back Ebonyi State seat of power as they are now one big and happy family with the sole purpose of delivering people's oriented government to the people.
PDP is a party loved by people because it has been consistent in delivering good governance, people-oriented programs, And therefore, we will explore the appeal that the party has in the states.
In a show of oneness and unity of purpose, Senator Obinna Oba, representing Ebonyi Central Senatorial Zone, donated 17 vehicles to the state executives and thereafter assured party faithful of their impending victories at all levels come 2023.
But people always have faith in the party, and I can assure you that the party will not disappoint them.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, was the ruling party in the state before Governor Mahi defected to the All Progressive Congress, APC. In Abakaliki, Kele Bobodna, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Time now to go for a break. When we return, Nationwide continues in our Sokoto Network Center with Nana.
Coming together was a beginning.
Keeping together has been a progress.
But working together in love and unity is the true success.
It's only in the atmosphere of peace opinions can be changed.
And understanding can be attained.
The ambassadors of Voice for Change Nigeria cordially request your patriotic participation
on the launch of our National Peace and Unity Campaign. And this will happen around the country.
Starting from Abuja.
December 15th, Peace and Unity Roadwalk. Kick-off point, Eagle Square, 10 a.m.
December 17th,
town hall meetings.
With students and youth.
18th December, Peace and Unity Concert.
Featuring basic December 19th, novelty match between the legendary Super Eagles and the
4 p.m. Stadium, Abuja.
Official launch, December 20th, time 11 a.m. at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja.
Supported by Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Arise, all Nigerians. Let's applaud the courage of Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, aka the Aggressor, for his skillful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara State. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order. Nigerians are proud of Abayomi Dairo and all our gallant men and women in uniform for sacrificing so much to keep us safe. We admire your courage and we say thank you. God bless the armed forces. God bless Nigeria. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The history is history. So either you know it or you don't.
I advise to the younger generation is that they should learn from what we have started and what we have left.
I did things that ordinarily I should not have been doing. What that meant was that I was working hard.
Whatever assignment you are given in life, put in your best.
The military years were a disaster.
Smoldering effects, all that is what we are trying to cure.
African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by AfroSports. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Federal government has taken a step further towards improving rice production as it began training of women, rice millers and other processors from across 7 northwest states. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports that a training on the promotion of modern technology of rice milling was organized by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development at the Sokoto office of the ministry. The Sokoto office of the ministry.
This is an important staple food, and about 70% of the rice consumed in the country is produced by small and medium-scale processors who rely on these women to parboil their paddy. The major challenge of milled rice is poor quality, which is attributed to, among others, poor parboiling method. Declaring the training open, Director Agricultural Services, Federal Ministry of Agriculture, represented by the Assistant Director Rice Value Chain, Usman Bashir, said the training is aimed at improving the capacity of local rice millers, especially the women millers.
When they are trained well and they grasp the knowledge well, when they go back to their states, it is expected they will step it down to their associations.
I have all the belief that we are going to compete favorably with the so-called foreign rice.
The training is expected to equip the participants with the practical knowledge on the use of modern parboiling technology.
To support them with some simple machines that can make their business more brighter, more cleaner.
Have to step down to other members so that more people will benefit.
The women and other processes were drawn from the northwest states comprising Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto and Zamfara states. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
As part of efforts to addressing the increasing cases of fraud in land transactions with their implications on the prevailing security situation, Zamfara state government has taken steps towards digitizing all land titles in the state. To this end, Governor Bello Muhammad has directed that Zamfara State Geographic Information System to start issuing new digital certificates of occupancy and letters of grants to landowners across the state soonest. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
Cases of fraud in land transactions with their attendant negative implications, especially on security, ostensibly informed the recent decision of Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad to revoke all the analog land titles in the state. Owners of the land titles were hence directed to go to the Zamfara State Geographic Information System for certification, and the agency is saddled with the responsibility of issuing new digital and secured letters of grants and certificates of occupancy for the landowners. Director General Zagis Hassan Idris Gusau noted that Zamfara State Government has procured some modern survey equipment for the agency to enable it effectively deliver on its mandate. Gusau says the agency is determined to address all the fraud and bottlenecks associated with the land titles registration in Zamfara State, as more than 50,000 digital and secured certificates have been so far produced for distribution to deserving applicants across the state.
We have the digital certificate of occupancy and we have the letter of grant. That's 30,000 copies of letter of grant are mainly produced for the newly proposed layouts to be established by Zamfara State Government.
Meanwhile, Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad has, during a recent unscheduled visit to Zagis headquarters Gusau, directed the agency to start issuing the new digital certificates soonest. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Well, that's it for us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Adeodeji in Abuja.
Thanks, Nana, in our Sokoto Network Center. To achieve the social development goals, particularly as it concerns access to good health care, key players in the health sector have called on governments to increase budgetary allocation and to also impose 1 kobo tax on calls from any telecommunication network to provide the much-needed fund to ensure the attainment of universal health coverage. This was the summation by stakeholders at the National Summit on Universal Health Coverage in Abuja. Daniel Aderie now tells us more.
A call for harmonious collaboration between policymakers, the political sector and the health sector have been highlighted as one of the few ways to further improve and indeed propel universal health coverage in Nigeria. However, even while the drawings might be on the board, conscious efforts must be made to make each blueprint a proper reality through increased funding and budgetary allocation.
As the 2023 general elections approach in Nigeria, they also come with abundant opportunities which could be leveraged to engage the political class, acquaint them with gaps and challenges in the health sector, deepen their knowledge about existing policy thrusts, and guide them to articulate context-appropriate course of action that is capable of setting the country on UHC trajectory.
Also speaking at the summit was the chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, and the former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, who say that because Nigeria is one of the signatories to the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), conscious efforts must be made to achieve universal health coverage by providing adequate finance for health insurance.
The government is committed to getting that NHI ASAP. The importance of it is what we are doing today, which is health coverage, is that for the first time, health insurance will become mandatory for all Nigerians. For the first time when that act is passed, we are going to have vulnerable group fund. Primary health care is where the real work needs to be done. The hard work in the rural areas, where you are taking nurses to rural areas, you are training health workers. That is the real work that is going to improve our health. But you find that a lot of our political leaders are not interested in that.
They noted that Nigeria, even in the midst of an economic dilemma, has withstood the scourge of COVID-19, but called for doubled efforts even as the new variant ravages parts of the world. In Abuja, Daniel Aderiye, NT News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Niger State Command, is engaging critical stakeholders in the fight against drug and substance abuse. The NDLEA collaborates with members of the National Association of Patent Proprietary Medicine Dealers to help in checkmating waves of unwholesome practices in the sale of regulated drugs. Fatima Ali reports that the event also coincided with the launch of war against drug abuse in the states.
Over the years, available records indicate that drug abuse has assumed a global phenomenon that has continued to ravage the entire world and now occupies a significant place in the public consciousness. This heightened awareness of drugs and their consequences have been influenced largely by campaigns and programs oriented towards educating the public about how both individuals and society can overcome these social vices. Latest on this trend in Niger State is the collaborative effort between the bodies saddled with this responsibility, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and National Association of Patent and Proprietary Medicines, where members were sensitized on the role as critical stakeholders to shun all forms of unwholesome practices in their profession. The NDLA also wants patent vendors to do away with sales and possession of illegal and controlled drugs as well as substance to stem wave of the ugly trend.
People who deal in petty medicine shops, they are closer to people. And we feel that when we launch this war and give them the details of what to do and what not to do, and to create the awareness of the effect and consequences of drugs they sell without authorization, I think that will go a long way in solving so many problems, and we'll have a drug-free society.
I promise that we, NACMED, will make sure that we fight against drug abuse.
The event climaxed with the launch of War Against Drug Abuse, where members were decorated as ambassadors of fight against drugs and substance abuse. In Mina, Fatima Ali, NTA News.
Efforts to rid the country of fake and substandard products, the National Agency for Food, Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed items worth millions of naira intercepted within the north-central zone of the country. Jamila Abubakar reports that the destruction was carried out by at the Nasarawa State Management Dump Site in Lafia.
The products destroyed include fake and counterfeit drugs, substandard and expired food products, cosmetics and other regulated products from manufacturers, importers and distributors seized by NAFDAC. The Director General of the agency, represented by the State Coordinator of Plateau State, Muazu Bashir Mohammed, said the importation, distribution and sales of fake, unsafe and unwholesome products is hazardous to human life. Hence the need for the destruction, as he called for concerted effort from all.
We have seized products that are not compliant with our laws. We have confiscated many of them and consigned them for this kind of destruction. That's a huge success for us.
Stakeholders present commended the effort of the agency and pledged to continue to support it towards a better society. The items destroyed were intercepted within the year in the 6 states of the North Central Zone, including the FCT. In Lafia, Jamila Abubakar, NTA News.
Sports updates is next with Olalekon Kilajolu.
Kada Emirates volleyball team lost by 3-2 to Benue Queens in match day 7 of the ongoing second phase of the Nigerian Volleyball Premier League in Abuja. Kwara Spikers beat Nigeria Immigration by 3-1, while Nigerian Customs Service continued their winning streak by beating Nigerian Police Force by 3-0.
We know this competition is important and we prepared for the competition well. We've come to play to win, and I know that on Tuesday we shall be crowned champions by the grace of God.
Following the successful outing of Team Nigeria at the just concluded International Weightlifting World Championships in Uzbekistan, President of the Weightlifting Federation, Abrahamic, has praised the lifters for the great achievements recorded at the championships and promised to organize training for coaches as well as athletes to further ensure that they compete with their peers across the world.
When you see a very good news like this, when people who have trained very hard, people who have done what they are meant to do, they've gone out there internationally, competed with more than 70 countries, and came back victorious like this.
Team Nigeria amassed a total of 9 medals at the championships. In golf, Nigerians have been admonished to take part in regular keep-fit exercises as well as encouraging the spirit of sportsmanship. Stakeholders made the call at the 2021 Save the Lives charity golf tournament in Abuja, where over 100 golfers compete for honors as part of activities to mark the 2021 International Universal Health Coverage Day.
People are so dedicated in ensuring that they play golf and not playing just for playing sake. They are also playing golf to save lives.
My advice is to encourage them to continue to do more, to add value to the lives of those who seem not to have so much.
12th December is the day set aside to celebrate the Universal Health Coverage Day. With sports updates, Olalekon Kilajolu, NTA News.
And that's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. Good evening.
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
They've come from all around Africa and have been fighting hard to make the final cut. And here they are. The coming days are sure to be a tough challenge for some of these young men, but this opportunity can be life-changing.
So every day is a chance for you to prove if you are or not worth it of the opportunity.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
Everything Music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Talking Movies.
times of old, the world was full of wonder. No!
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Arise, O compatriots, it's time to use our voice.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills.
Pay the bills, keep paying the telephone bills, pay my bills.
Welcome to Gallery.
Me and my paddies.
London for what?
London for medicine.
Medicine for what?
Medicine for coffee.
Are you sickness?
To our illness. Welcome to Gist Zone.
All right, my name is the Eselusien Wego One. Ona nyokoko nyonyo.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, whether you are rich or you are poor, all of us might not be rich. All of us might not build a house. We might not all have children. But there's one thing that all of us will have, in as much as you live, is death. No matter whom you are, no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter how intelligent, no matter how powerful, everything that has a beginning must have an end. And one thing is common to all religious beliefs, the concept of death. To a Christian, what are the concepts of death? To a Muslim, the same thing. How do they feel about death? If truly there is death, how do we prepare for it? And that is what we are going to discuss today, preparing for death. My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, welcoming you to today's episode of Abrahamic Mission. And joining me in the studio to discuss today's topic is Imam Omar Yanda Liu, who is the Imam of Uthman Bin Affan Mosque, we say here in Abuja. Imam, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
And also we have Father Emmanuel Unamba, is at St. Cyril Catholic Church in Kado Kuchi here in Abuja. Father, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Together we'll be discussing preparing for death. But before that time, let us take some of the messages that we received in the past few days. He said, I'm Ifeanyi Emmanuel from Kaduna. I build church for glorious gospel healing and deliverance ministry. By God, I want to build for Muslim too, but I am a Christian. I don't know how you understood what he said. He said he has built a church for Christian and intend to even build a mosque for Muslims. That despite being a Christian. You want to do something, or I should go on?
Yeah, it's something very interesting.
Okay.
The house of worship is unto God. It's the house of God. And so if you have the privilege, Solomon in the Bible considered it a privilege to build for the Lord. So if you have a privilege to build, whether it's for the Christians or the Muslims, we have established it here in this program that we are all worshiping the same God. And so since it's the same God that owns the same house, so you can build it either for Christians or for Muslims. There are examples of Muslims also who are doing the same thing for the Christians.
Okay. Imam, do you have any?
I also want to add that he will not be the first to have done that. Because I can remember vividly here in Abuja, to be specific, in Gogola, the area council, where we have a man that shares the same faith with him, and they built a mosque for the Muslims in one of the communities here in Abuja. So that will be highly welcome, and that will also promote a sort of good understanding among the adherents of the two faiths.
Okay, thank you. This man writes, he said, nice program. I'm just enjoying it. I wish the program will not finish. Very impressive. God bless you all. Stanley from Lagos. I think you watched last week's own, which almost all the episodes are evergreen. This man writes, if Christian and Muslim have almost the same history of creation, why then the religious conflict between both religions? From Oliver in Lagos. This man said, I wish both can still come back in another time to continue that topic. I will be grateful. I think he was talking about the issue of family. That's what we discussed last week.
Okay.
This man writes, said, good day, sir. I just want to say a very big appreciation to the producer of this program, and also want to say big thank you to the two personalities involved in the last episode. Another man said, I'm Christ Unimam from Ado-Ekiti. I want to thank the two guests in the studio for uniting the two religions through this program. May God strengthen you all. This man, he wrote, he said, I'm Comrade Isaac W.M. Ekpatolo from Bayelsa State, Yenagua. The program is so educative and inspiring that what I'm hearing now, we don't have to kill ourselves because of religion. I advise that you should make the program in every radio and TV station. Thank you. I think the program is trying for now. It's on Radio Nigeria. As you are listening by 5 p.m. every Sunday, you can listen to it on Radio Nigeria, and I want to appreciate FRCN management for that. And also, it's also being repeated 5 p.m. on Sunday, while the live is now, that is every Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. So I think it's a good one, but we hope that we can also improve on that. Another man, he wrote, he said, Efe Kuda Ogene Kano gift. I don't know whether I pronounce it rightly. He said, my own stake in the case of family, the parents has a lot of role to play in the manner at which they bring their children, and making the following as their daily routine, always telling the children that the only way to success is hard work, that the parents should also try to give the basic education to each child. This is a generation where without education puts you in a cocoon that only limits you to a certain level of understanding, teaching them norms that really uphold our rights and good deeds.
That is a wonderful message, because definitely you will discover that family is the bedrock of the society. The kind of training we receive from our families is what translates back to the society, because it's a segment of the society. This family, by the time the parents do the needful, the other ones also did their own and played their own role. Definitely that's what now comes together as a community and as a society. So once we have it wrong from the family basis, then definitely it is going to affect our society. And until the parents now realize this and take up the responsibility to do the needful by giving proper upbringing to their children, will still be in this quagmire.
Father, the other point he brought out is the fact that there are some parents who, I don't know their background, who try to withdraw education from or stop their children from getting education for whatever reason. The one that easily comes to our mind now is Boko Haram. It shouldn't go and gain education, which is, you will explain more on that. That is not an Islamic injunction for you not to go and learn. because I remember the hadith that will say Hat al-ilm, Hat al-fisin. So you should search for knowledge until as far as
China.
you can get it. China, yeah. So I don't know. We need to reorientate them to understand that knowledge is power. If you don't get that knowledge, you will become limited, as he said, in your cocoon, and you can't easily move out to the wider world.
Thank you. Somebody said, my name is Femi Ojo from Kuta in Niger State. He said to the mom, we learn and we believe that you want to Islamize Nigeria. Please explain. They said you want to Islamize Nigeria.
So that could be a concept and that could be an understanding.
How?
And when we say Islamization, you're just calling on the Muslims to put into practice the Islamic teachings. They should put into practice all the do's and don'ts propagated by Islam. So by so doing, everybody that sees you will now be saying, maybe you want to Islamize Nigeria. I don't know how, because as far as Islam is concerned, you don't compel somebody to come and join your religion.
Your religion.
No compulsion. You invite people, and if the person sees the reason and is so convinced, as the Christians also do, by the time they preach to you and they became so convinced with their own dictates of the religion, you may decide to join them. So I don't see any possibility of anybody trying to lay claim to forcing any other person to his own religion. So Islamization simply means calling on Muslims to put into practice, to the best of their ability, the teachings and dictates of Islam.
That's strange.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yes, I think we are on the same board in this issue. You know, when people talk of Islamization or Christianization, you know, they see it as something negative. But I remember my former Archbishop, John Cardinal Onaiko, he said that I shouldn't be a Christian if I don't struggle to Christianize Nigeria. That is my duty, to reach out to see that everybody embraces the religion. The issue in contention is something else, which those who make this comment are not bringing it out.
And what is that?
And what is that? The manner of Islamizing or Christianizing, that is the issue. You don't use force, compulsion, just as he said. So it's the manner you use in making everybody Christian that's a problem. The Christians, we are given the supreme mandate in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 28. Go into the world and make disciples of all the nations.
Of all the nations, yes.
The Muslims are also given a similar command, that they have to preach. So it's a commandment from Allah, commandment from God, that we should Christianize and Islamize. So the problem is the modality of doing that. So once you employ a means that is not proper, then the government has the duty to stop you. It's their duty to stop you. So you shouldn't use illegal means to Christianize or Islamize Nigeria. But as for doing that, you have a legal right to do it.
Okay, what about those who, when they don't employ other religions, something, or if they want to employ you, they must force you to join their religion? Is it not Christianization or Islamization in that regard?
That is what I'm saying is abnormal. You are using illegal means. There shouldn't be discrimination. Of course, you are in your business or your enterprise or whatever you have is within the geographical region called Nigeria. And Nigeria has a law of non-discrimination. So if you are to hire somebody because of his religion, then there's something wrong. And the government should go after you because you are now discriminating. You are going against the law of the land. So discrimination in employment shouldn't come up. That's an illegal way of making convert.
And then to add to what Father have said, you discover that is what is also giving us serious challenge in this country of ours today, where we compromise competence.
Good.
What do you say?
Where we compromise competence.
Competence, okay.
To sentiment.
competence to sentiment. In the name of religion.
In the name of religion. And that is where you will discover we'll be having series of problems. Because this person is qualified, he is competent, he has all what it takes to take this employment. And because he doesn't share the same faith with you, you will now decide to discriminate and keep him aside, and then decide to take somebody who does not possess that qualification, doesn't have that competence, sacrificing. That continues to kill the system. That is why so many organizations
are dying.
Because,
or they're dead even.
Because by the time you employ somebody who doesn't have any commitment, who is not serious, who doesn't have the technical know-how to do the needful, definitely the organization will continue to be retrogression.
This is serious. Well, we discussed that one at length, but let me just take it like that. Let me read more message. This one say, good evening, sir. Thanks for your program presented this evening. Please, how may I contact Reverend for a personal issue? I think I've sent that one to Reverend. This one say, Imam and our both Christian and Muslim clerics, the program Abrahamic Mission is an amazingly awesome program that should be made mandatory on all broadcast stations in Nigeria. This program is a great value addition initiative to the betterment of our society, as the family is the bedrock of any society. If we can get things right at the family unit, our nation will be better for it. The missing link in our contemporary societal chain is the disorientation and dismembering engendered right at the family level. Lack of family cohesion is seriously missing in our society. The solution to revitalize and revamp our eroded family value is to restructure our schools' curriculum by reintroduction and reinvigorating the study of family value. This message is too long ago. But he said, okay, he said, the Abrahamic Mission is a program of a great value to humanity. Thumb up for NTA and all the crew. I'm Solomon Omotosho from Chika in Lugbe. Thank you for this message. I think this one will be our last message. You can also be part of this program by sending your messages, either SMS or WhatsApp. Please, only messages, don't call to 070-449-44949. Again, 070-449-44949 is displayed on your screen. We'll now go on a short break. When we come back, we want to see how we can prepare for death. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Abrahamic Mission. And the topic we are discussing today is preparing for death. And joining me in the studio to discuss this topic is Father Emmanuel Unamba. He is from the St. Cyril Catholic Church, Kadukuchi, Abuja. Father, once again, you are welcome.
Thanks very much.
And we have our Imam, Imam Umar Yanda Liu, is Chief Imam at Uthman Bono Afan Mosque in Wusetu here in Abuja. Imam, once again, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
We all know that we might not all have money. We might not all have power. We might not all be presidents. But one thing that all of us will have is death. Anything that lives must die. Well, in the Christian thinking of death, he said the man has sinned, hence sin now leads him to death. And that is why the Bible says that therefore, as sin came to the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men. That is Romans 5, verse 12. And also, Adam and Eve, those are our great-great-grandfather, they have sinned. And that is why the Bible says that the wages of sin is death. So it means from the Christian teachings, death is certain, and from the one, there is death. But they will have clarification on death and death. The Muslim will say in the glorious Quran that they say, Kullu nafsin dha'ikatul maut, that all soul must taste death. And there is a verse that also says that Kullu man alayya fa'anin wa yabki waji rabbika dhul jalali wal ikram, that everything shall perish, shall come to an end. It will now only remain your Lord. And there is also another concept of death from the glorious Quran, when Allah says that in Quran chapter 45 verse 26, that Allah causes you to live, then causes you to die, then He will assemble you for the day of resurrection, of which there is no doubt. So the meaning is, from the two main religions, there is death. But the question now is, what do they preach about death? Father, what is death? Let's now look at it from the Christian theological teachings now.
Okay. I am very happy the verses you picked from the Bible, because it takes us to the foundation of death.
I know, that's why I went there.
Good. The foundation of death is sin.
Mm-hmm.
The book of wisdom, chapter 1 from verse 13 to 14 will tell us God did not create man.
I'm sorry, the book of wisdom is only in Catholic Bible.
Yeah, one of those deuterocanonical, which we spoke about.
Because when I say wisdom, I know in other Bible wisdom is not, it's only in Catholic Bible.
Yes,
so please go ahead.
Yeah, that death is not of God's making. You know, in the original plan of God, He did not create human beings to die. He created us to live forever. But the sin of Adam and Eve made us to lose our immortality. We are supposed to live in the Garden of Eden, in the paradise, and enjoy eternal happiness, not knowing sin, not knowing death. But by that sin, we now begin to die. We are now able to commit sin. We are now enter into what is called concupiscence. We are inclined towards sin. But at the original state, we are not inclined towards sin. We do what is expected of us, keeping the commandments of God. So
like the angels.
Yes, like the angels. But with that sin, we lost all these three graces of God. So we now began to die because we have sinned. So sin is as a result of the misbehavior of human beings. Because God would not have ordinarily created us to kill us. That's what our scripture tells us. But because we have perverted the plans of God, so death comes as a consequence. But that's not the end. The scripture will again tell us, thanks be to God, just as you quoted, sin came through Adam and death. But thanks to Jesus Christ, we can now live forever. Death is no longer a punishment, but a transformation in which we now go back to that original state where we will never die again, where we'll be in eternal happiness, depending on your action anyway. If you have done what merits happiness, you will get happiness. If you have done what merits eternal punishment, you will get that. So the foundation of death thing, but when we now look at it with the eye of faith, we see that death is no longer a punishment, but it's now something that transforms us into what we used to be at the beginning, in accordance with the mind of God.
Thank you so much. Before you tell us about, I just remember that we need to condole with father. He just lost his father recently. I pray God in His infinite mercy will give you and all what He left behind the fortitude to bear this lot. On behalf of all of us from Abrahamic Mission, we condole with you and we pray that God will be with you all.
Thanks so much.
So, Imam.
I join my producer, my anchorman, to sympathize with you and also say sorry for the loss of our dear father.
Actually, it's a happy death because he was 108 years old. So there was no much crying.
That is why some people will say he has even entered other people's...
Exactly.
Yes, the concept of death, as far as we Muslims are concerned, is a phenomenon that even without being told, seeing what is happening around, you must accept and believe in. And that is part of the creations of Allah the Almighty, as he said, تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. That الذي, it is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, you have started translating now.
Yes.
Okay.
تبارك الذي بيده الملك.
I know
glory be
Father
to
will
him.
not be, it will not be problem for him because you understand what you've just read.
Glory be to him, Allah the Almighty, in whose hand is the dominion of the heavens and the earth. And he is the one that has authority over everything. He is the one who have created the life and the death. The life and the death. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ, for him to subject us to trial, for him to try us. أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا, who among you is going to do the good things. It is on this basis that we Muslims believe that death is one of the creations of Allah the Almighty, and no soul shall ever live or exist on this earth except such an individual, such a soul shall have a taste of death. And death in the Noble Quran is repeated in not less than 81 times.
81 times?
81 times. And the three, specifically in Surah 3, Surah Al-Anbiya and Surah Al-Ankabut, Allah specifically emphasized.
Please, what is Surah Al-Ankabut?
That is Surah of the spider.
Okay.
Yes. That every soul shall have a taste of death. Kullu nafsin, as you recited earlier, dha'iqatul maut. In Surah Al-Anbiya, it is repeated. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنًا. Then in Surah Al-Ankabut, ثُمَّ إِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ.
We don't know what you are saying.
Yes. Every soul shall have a taste of death.
Okay.
That everyone that lived on this earth must transform to the life after this world through death. Nobody will ever reach that destination without passing through this. So death is now a sort of intermediary between the existence in this world and the life after this world. So as far as we Muslims are concerned, it is now what you do that determines. Look at how Allah used that phrase, taste. When you are tasting something, it is either sweet or it is bitter. That is now going to be determined by your own actions. It's your actions now that will determine whether that death is very sweet or is very bitter. And you can't relate it to any other person. It's only you yourself that knows the kind of taste. So as far as we Muslims are concerned, whosoever is living now should prepare that time is coming, that he will pass on to the other world, and must do that through testing the death.
You are beginning to make me to be thinking seriously. Okay, you actually started what I wanted to ask now. Death, does it have any relationship with reward or punishment? Although the two of you have also mentioned it, that you say when you move to eternity, that you now go to the original form. I'm taking the biblical teaching now, and you take the original form. It is death that will transform you back to that original form. But when you now go back and you transform after death now, is there any relation between what you do now and there? I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to. So is there any relationship with reward or punishment here, there, and now? Because you say we are going back to the original source. Yes. So it means whatever you do here will be, let me say the word, regularized when you get back.
Yeah, we are alive for death. Mm-hmm. Just as you mentioned earlier, you say the nothingness of the existence. Mm-hmm. The book of Ecclesiastes will talk about that. Vanity of vanity, all is vanity. Mm. So we are alive in order to prepare for death. Mm-hmm. Just as the Imam said, it's a test. You have been put into the examination hall so that you will do and then prepare for where you will go. So it is what we do in this life that determines where we'll be in the next life. So when you are in this world, you need to see it where the world has been compared many times as a marketplace. And some compare it to a bridge. According to the rules of driving, you don't stop on a bridge, you just pass. You don't park there. You just, it's something you just pass through. Mm-hmm. And in the market, nobody lives in the market except probably a mad person. So when we are in this world, we should see it as a transitory place where we come, do the needful, and then get back.
Get back home.
Yes, because some people are looking at this world as if it's the way people live. Yes, the way people live this life as if this is the beginning and end of all. No, it's just a fraction of your life that Allah has allowed you to live on earth. The remaining part of it will be in the life after. So it is. Allow me to use this the slogan or the slang commonsensical.
Okay,
it's commonsensical for you to know that you need to use this life very well so that you attain the glory of the life after. It doesn't make sense when you know that this life is short. The scripture will again tell us, our Bible will tell us that our life is 70 years or 80 for those who are strong. So he has given us that limit. So if you, can you compare 80 years to eternity? Eternity is life without end. So if you mortgage your eternity on the few years you live in this world, then it's not commonsensical, as I already mentioned. So we need to use the life we are here, living here on earth, in order to prepare for the life after. So it's just as you mentioned, the issue of reward and punishment. So you are rewarded if you have done something good. You get to heaven, or Jannah, as the Muslims will refer to it. Or if you have done something evil, you will suffer the punishment in hell, or Jahannam. So it's a common sense thing for you to use the life you have on earth in order to prepare for the life after. And the ball is in your court to do whatever you wish to do.
Imam, you will do that, but this is personal question to him. Why are you so comfortable with using, let me say, Islamic terms so easily? Did you notice that too? So, because I've seen some other group of Christians, when you have any diction from Islam, it pinches them as if, what are you doing? Why is it that you are so comfortable using Islamic terminologies just like
that? Probably people will tell you about me in the church. Sometimes I use the Arabic expression. Like in the church, there's a time we are asked to say, "The Lord be with you." The Lord be with you. Okay. Arabu Makum. Ignorance is a disease.
Is that what you spoke now?
Exactly. The Lord be with you. Yes. And then there's another time when we are expected to say, the priest is expected to say, "Peace be with you." And instead of saying that, "Peace be with you," I will say, "Assalamu alaikum." I will say, as part of the man, Assalamu alaikum. It's just a change of language. I will tell you, when we were in Egypt learning Arabic, we said mass from beginning to end in Arabic language. May sound very, very odd for some people. Many people don't know how to distinguish Islam and Arabic. They confuse the two. They think Arabic is Islam and Islam is Arabic, which is not true. Those of us who have got the foresight, these are languages which a Christian and a Muslim can use at the same time. So when I use the terms, it's because I understand it, and there's no problem in using them.
I think more people we should understand each other like you. I don't want to take much time. Let me quickly go to Imam. Should I come back with my question briefly? That does the life you live, what death has any link with reward and punishment?
You see, the life of this world is, as the Father have put it, is a sort of examination that one is passing through. And that the noble Prophet ﷺ did inform us how we should behave on this earth. That kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharibun aw abiru sabil. That you should live in this world as a stranger or one who is crossing a road. You know, if a stranger should go elsewhere, he is having that thinking in his mind that a day is coming that he will go back to his own
place.
Yes, his original place. Or somebody stay on the road because you are afraid. So when you are crossing, what you do, you get prepared very well. You look left and right. No vehicle is coming. Nothing is this before you can cross.
And all your system must be working.
Yes.
In case another one is coming from nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yes.
So, on this note, the life of this world, as I said, is a trial. And how we live it determines where we go. Because we are given the two choices. And the life after, you don't have the third house. The houses, as far as we are concerned, is two. Either paradise or hellfire.
No in between.
No in between. And then, by the time you are either here or you are there. And all are going to be determined by your own actions in this world. That is why in several verses of the Noble Quran, I can give you the surah, but the verse exactly, because we have over 6,666 verses in the Noble Quran, that وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا in Surah 2, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. That you should be careful, you should be fearful of that day, تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, when you are exiting to your own Lord.
You return back to your Lord.
Yes, to your Lord. And that everybody is going to be compensated based on what he or she have done without being cheated.
I think that's where we are going to stop it. To go on a short break, that you will have your reward or otherwise without being cheated from your Lord. And I read one thing, he said, the judge that day, incidentally, is the only witness. We go on the short break, and don't go away. We'll be back.
We are all Nigerians. Against all odds, we shall and must remain united. We may have our challenges, our problems, and setbacks. However, together we shall overcome them all. What doesn't break us shall make us stronger. This is the mindset that shall bring peace, progress, and prosperity to our beloved country. Do not let tribal and religious sentiments govern how you think, act, or feel. feel. Don't be influenced by those who want to destroy our precious national unity. Everybody who's a Nigerian is your brother and your sister. This is the mindset of the new Nigeria. It is also the mindset that we must all adopt. Let us support each other in creating the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Yeah, welcome back. The topic we are discussing is preparing for death. Before I come back, let me quickly read some of the messages people have been sending to us. This man say, good evening. I'm happy for this program. Where were you since till people go wrong? Please, let President open the school of Abrahamic so that our children will pick up where you start. Thank you. From Ibrahim Ishaku Atta, Kaduna State. God protect Abrahamic house. Thank you. That is what... This one says, good evening to the presenter of the Muslim and Christian. My name is Agbo Ikechuku. We all now know we must die. What we want is how can we stop killing? Don't worry, we are going to answer that. He has actually taken us to where I want to go. Right. Where I want to go now is, let me start from Imam now. How do we now prepare for this death? Because you have raised some fundamental things. One, death is certain. Reward and punishment is certain. What you get in the hereafter depends on what you have done here. How do we now prepare to get a better hereafter?
Yes, it's very simple. One of the things that we must do in preparations to get a better reward by either going into paradise by God's grace is to be watchful of our actions. Let's try to live within the dictates, within the commandments of the honor of the creator of those two houses. He has given us a guideline. He has given us principles upon which we are to live. And whosoever abide by those principles, by those commandments, definitely he has assured such an individual where he is going to admit him into, which is paradise. And whosoever decides to do otherwise, to live contrary to the commandments, to his own dictates, has chosen for himself the opposite of paradise. It is on this note that actions on the day of reckoning is unlike the actions in this world. Because the judge in that day of reckoning is Allah. He is the judge. And then our own organs are the one to testify against us. To the extent that man will now be questioning his own organs, his hands. Why are you testifying against me? Don't you know, by the time you testify against me, this is where we all go together? Then the organs will definitely certify that, whatever may be the case, I have been commanded to say the truth. Because nothing is going to take place that very day except the truth. And then in this world, our actions are already registered. Whatever we do is being registered because we have secretaries, according to the Noble Quran, that are attached to us permanently, that keeps records of everything. And then on that day, everybody is going to be given his own book of records of actions. It is on that everything one did in this world, you will see it vividly. And then the judgment will start. Therefore, whatever one may be acquiring in this world, we should always remember we were welcomed into this world with a rag. A rag. And so we shall be accompanied out of this world with, again, a piece of cloth. You have welcomed at the hospital with a towel. So when you are going back, you will be clothed.
Even something lighter.
Lighter than even the towel. So whatever one might
amazed, acquired of material, he is leaving it behind here. And therefore, that calls for whatever one is going to acquire, let him follow the lawful means to acquiring it, as he's going to give account of it in the day of reckoning.
Okay. Father, how do we prepare for death?
I want to believe that everyone wants to go to paradise or heaven, as the case may be. But
I don't think so.
I want to believe so.
I don't believe so.
I will give you my reasons.
Okay, and I will also give you my reason.
Everyone wants to get to the place of eternal repose. Nobody would prefer to go and suffer eternally. The problem is that some people are playing games with God. They prefer, okay, there's still time. This concept of there's still time. Let me relax first. I can embezzle the money after we repent, and then live a good life.
Father, let me really add one proverb, one line for you. I have a friend, he said, those who plan to worship God by 12 o'clock, they always die by 11:59. Please go ahead.
Good, thank you very much. Many Christians want to think that they can always be in the state of the good thief. Remember the good thief that was crucified with Jesus? Jesus told him
the one by the right.
Yes, that today you will be with me in paradise. So many people want to live that 11th hour Christianity, when you can do whatever you like. And then in the church, we teach that there's no period of moral holiday in Christianity. One of our fathers who have passed on, we call them the saints, told us how to prepare for death. Live every day of your life as if that is the last day of your life. Live every day of your life as if that is the last day of your life. When you do that, then you will have prepared for death. But when you are living as if there is tomorrow I will still do this, tomorrow I will still do this, then you fall into the temptation of not preparing for death. So live every day as if that is your last day. So you put everything in order, so that whenever it comes, you are ready to go. And of course, what the Mama said, keep the commandments of God. Keep the commandments of God. Love your neighbor. Don't do anything that will put you in the book of death, eternal death. Do all those that will bring you into the book of life, so that when eventually it happens, you don't know the hour. Even Jesus Christ, our Master, told us, no one knows the date, no one knows the hour. We have the phenomenon in Christianity that some people will tell you the world is going to come to an end in 2000 or 2012 or 2000 and that. Jesus has told us no one knows the date or the hour. Sometimes I say this in the church, and some people see it as something that shouldn't be said. We are preparing for Christmas now. But before Christmas, many people will die.
Definitely.
There are people who are preparing for Christmas who will not see Christmas. So prepare yourself as if today is the last day. And whenever death comes, you will be happy. But when you are living your life as if tomorrow I can still do this and make amends before I die, then death will catch you unawares.
Death will catch on. You want to say something before I move to my next? No. Let me quickly read some messages. This one says, you are discussing Abrahamic, but Judaism is left out. Any reason for that? There is no reason. The only reason is that we've been trying to get in touch with some of our brothers from the Judaism. We've not been able to get, and we want those who are from there. That is it. But we are still working. We know we've not been doing well enough, but we will still try until when we get somebody that will. But thank God, Israeli embassy, they're planning a program which I think we will also be involved, and that we'll be able to get a Jewish religionist. So please bear with us. We will get that. And secondly, the number in Nigeria, what most of us know is Christian and Muslim. That does not mean others are not existing. So that is it. Let me see this one. Somebody said, for one to make heaven, is it by action or by prayers? I don't know what
All together.
All together?
Yes.
The two of you agree?
Yeah, exactly. There's a part of the scripture that says in Philippians chapter 2 verse 10, says you have to work out your salvation in fear and trembling. So action versus prayer. There's a typical way we put it. Pray as if everything depends on God, and walk as if everything depends on you. Are you be able to make
That is also why the Prophet ﷺ
what did he say?
Said, or informed us that no one's action will ever earn him that favor of entering paradise except by the mercy of Allah.
Okay.
So you have to join the two together.
Okay, this man writes, he says, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He says, this program is fantastic and mostly needed now in this recent time. He said, Malam Adeyemi Abdulwasi, I think from Ekiti State. We thank you, Malam Adeyemi Abdulwasi, and we appreciate you for this. This one says, Salaam alaikum. I strongly commend everybody for this program. I also welcome the resource person. We appreciate your contribution. Remain blessed, Kabir Abbas Kankia. I think Kankia is in Katsina State. Kankia, I think it's in Katsina State. Now, you said we walk and we pray to get prepared to have the everlasting life. But there are some things we are witnessing in our country now. Some people are killing, some are maiming, some are stealing, some will even call themselves religious people, and they will be the one in forefront for everything that is wrong. Is this also preparation for death?
I wouldn't think so. But sometimes we can even go deeper to try to understand why they're doing what they're doing. What is it that is motivating them? And I would like to also push it back again to what the comment I already made, thinking that there's still time to let us do this and then later on. But that is not the proper way. That's not the proper way. If you know certainly that you are going to die, you don't take anything for chances. There's the way they put it in an allegory that if you want to travel from here to Kano, and you know that one person will die in that vehicle, you don't need to enter that vehicle. If you know for certain that one person will die in that vehicle along the journey, you don't need to enter it. You enter the one that you are sure that nobody will die. So there's no need of taking chances. There's no need of doing things that you know will not merit you that kingdom, that's a place where you need to go. When you get involved in things that are ungodly, killing, maiming, you know certainly, the last edition we had together would refer to that Quranic verse that says, any person who kills a single person is as if he has killed the entire humanity. So there's no justification for you to do that. Because the Allah who you have, I always remember that notice whenever there is a Muslim obituary, they will always the Quran Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse 126, that we are from Allah and we are going back to Allah, and you know that you are from Allah and you're going back to Allah, and Allah has given you the commandments. God has given you these commandments, and you don't want to keep it, and you want to go back to Him, and you think you can play games with Him. He will put you where you belong. He will put you where you belong. So if you must attain that reward, you have to follow the commandments of Him whom you are going back to. Because in that place, there's no going through the fence or going through the window.
Just as somebody.
Yes, just as we have established. The only witness is Allah, is God. So there's no, you can't play games. So just do the things that is expected of you, and at the end, you will be able to get into the kingdom.
Human life is sacred, and never should it be taken unjustly and for granted. And that for those that are killing, there's a common saying in Arabic that لَوْ صَبَرَ الْقَاتِلُ لَمَاتَ الْمَقْتُولُ.
Please translate.
If the murderer is patient enough, definitely the victim will surely die. Then why should he be the one involved in taking the life of that victim? That is a common saying. And therefore, for no reason at all, that those who are involved or who engages in taking human life, they don't have any base for doing so, except for their own selfish interest. And then if they are so patient, definitely everybody will die. And then everybody has his own way that Allah have destined to pass through when you are going. By the time you become the source to take another person's life, then which means you will take his own responsibility even in the day of Qiyamah. If you dare take somebody's
day of Qiyamah, please?
Day of judgment,
okay,
you will take his responsibility because you take his life unjustly, not have been ordered. Allow the Creator to take his own life. He's the one that created him, and he should be the one to
take
the
the
source
life.
of.
Okay.
Closely connected with that is the issue of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who get so frustrated in life that they want to take their life. But the two religions will always preach against that. That no matter how frustrated you are, you're not the one that gave yourself life. So you can't even take it.
You are not the owner.
You are not the owner. So you can't even take it. So be patient and allow the scripture tells us, with reference to what he already said, that vengeance is mine, says the Lord. It is the Lord who will avenge every wrong. So do not do the work of God for him.
Okay.
In the same way, do not kill yourself or kill another person.
Unfortunately, we've not been able to get well, but notwithstanding, there's a question that is very sacred, that's very important to me. He said, is it good for a Muslim to eat Christmas food? Go straight, without wasting time, because we don't have time, our time is gone.
Yes, there are divergent opinion according to scholars on that. Mm-hmm. It is allowed we take each other's food on a normal basis, but some scholars will tell you whatever is connected to anything festivity of other people, once it's...
What did Quran says about the food of Christian?
Yes, take the people of book, when they cook, take the food.
Then leave it like that. It means a Muslim can eat the food that is given to him during Christmas. Even whether it's not a Christian that gives you, even it is your own food, you must say Bismillah Rahman Rahim before you start eating any food.
Yes.
So it means it's allowed from your mouth.
Yes.
Okay. Can Christian too give Muslim food during festivity? One word, because we don't have time.
All right. We are allowed to do that. We can give and we can take. The comment I wanted to add is just the Surah to Maida, just that name, okay. Surah to Maida. It gives us the basics for sharing food. He made a reference to Jesus bringing down food for his disciples. You understand? So we are brothers. We are brothers in we all believe, so we should be it with one another. Okay. So those who go contrary are doing their own thing, not the will of God.
Okay, thank you so much for being part of this program, Father. We thank you. You've always dear to my mind, because Father is one thing that I call him Sheikh Father Emmanuel Unamba. Sheikh Father Emmanuel, you are welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. My dear Imam, thank you so much for being able to come here. We appreciate you and we thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is where I believe we will stop for today. I know very soon we'll call you and you'll be back. I want to thank everybody too who has been there. We appreciate you. My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi. Let's meet same time, same station next week.
There is an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, gender, race, religion, or nationality. It is called domestic violence. It can take a number of forms, including physical, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, or sexual abuse. The ultimate aim of domestic violence is to gain and maintain total control over its victim. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It happens among people of all ages, ethnic background, and economic levels. While women are more commonly victimized, men are also abused, especially verbally and emotionally, although sometimes even physically as well. Unfortunately, domestic violence is among the most underreported crimes worldwide for both men and women. An abuser doesn't play fair. He or she uses fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear down his or her victims and keep them perpetually under his or her control. Abusers may often seem wonderful and perfect initially, but gradually become more aggressive and controlling as the relationship continues. Here are some signs of abusive tendencies: showing jealousy of the victim's family and friends, accusing victim of cheating, controlling who the victim sees, where they go, or what they do, preventing the victim from making his or her own decision, intimidating the victim with guns, knives, or other weapons. Noticing and acknowledging the signs of an abusive relationship is the first step to ending it. Therefore, abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether it is coming from a man or a woman, a teenager or an older adult. We all deserve to be valued, respected, and safe.
This is the network service of the NTA.
This year's World AIDS Day commemoration is themed End Inequalities, End AIDS, and Pandemics. However, this has been tweaked to highlight the importance of sustained financing in the nation's push for the last mile of HIV epidemic control. Hence the theme End Inequalities, End AIDS through Sustainable HIV Financing in Nigeria. Hello and welcome. You're watching The Last Mile of NACA. I am Adesu Walsui. This episode brings you sights and sounds of numerous activities held to mark the 2021 World AIDS Day. Take a look.
The World AIDS Day commemoration every 1st of December is aimed at creating awareness of HIV and AIDS and issues around its treatment and prevention, as well as to remember those who have died from AIDS-related illnesses. The universal theme for this year is End Inequalities, End AIDS, End Pandemics. However, the need to refocus stakeholders' attention to ownership, sustainability, and the attainment of epidemic control in Nigeria saw a slight change to the theme nationally. Thus, End Inequalities, End AIDS through Sustainable HIV Financing. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, organized several programmatic activities in the days leading to the World AIDS Day, starting with a press conference at its headquarters building in Abuja.
The Nigerian national response is at the last mile of its epidemic control. Therefore, the public and private sectors, the communities, all stakeholders in the national response have roles to play to ensure epidemic control and sustainability.
And we couldn't be at the point at which we are without all the partners here on the ground in Nigeria. And I can't be more proud than to be associated with the group of people that we have in this room, because together we all have our own niche and our own role that we're performing. And because we're doing it in a coordinated way, we are actually going to be able to end a public health emergency.
next day featured a roadwalk and HIV testing services in select areas of the Federal Capital Territory.
Let's go, one time, let's go, one time.
Day 3. Muslim faithfuls in the agency, led by the Director General, Dr. Aliyu Gambo, were at the National Mosque for the Jumat.
We are bringing the message to the mosques because religion plays a critical role, especially in fighting stigma and discrimination. For people to know that if you stigmatize and discriminate because somebody is HIV positive, you are helping the virus. You're not helping us. And we want everyone to help us to control HIV. And the way to help us is, one, today know your status if you don't know before. And if you are HIV positive, we will protect and make sure that you're not stigmatized and discriminated against, and we will make sure you have access to life-saving medication, which has changed the life of many that have the virus and live the virus in this country and globally.
After prayers, officials of NACA carried out HIV testing and counseling services. Day 4 featured several sports activities as part of the World AIDS Day celebration.
Much work has been done in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. However, more work needs to be done. Together, we can end AIDS by the year 2030, even amidst coronavirus pandemic.
Educate yourself. This is crucial in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
Get tested. The only way to know for certain your status and stop the spread.
Get involved. People with HIV and AIDS need care and support.
Say no to stigma. Stigma prevents people from getting tested and those living with HIV from treatment.
Spread the word. The more we educate others about the disease, the better we can fight it.
Adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols, wear a face mask, and maintain physical distance in public places.
Remember, only united can we defeat HIV to finish and end AIDS by the year 2030. Get tested today. Let's fight HIV to finish in Nigeria.
A Thanksgiving ceremony was also held at the First Baptist Church, Gariki, Abuja, to commemorate the World AIDS Day. During the service, the Director, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation, NACA, Dr. Greg Ashefo, addressed the congregation.
HIV is the most death sentence, and that is why we encourage people to test. The number of death sentence if you know your status and your treatment and care. That's the good news about HIV. We are happy to be part of you today, to thank the Lord for what He has done, that in this country we are reaching the last mile. And the last mile is saying that we are about to achieve great control. We need everybody's support, the church support, the faith-based, everyone's support. So we are here to create that awareness and also thank the Lord.
There was also HIV testing and counseling outreach after the church service. Media Engagement and Debate Competition for Adolescents and Young People, AYP, was organized by NACA as a platform to reach the youths and other affected populations. In his welcome address, the Director General, NACA, Dr. Aliyu Gambo, stated that persons living with HIV who are not on treatment is as a result of inequality.
It may interest us to know that out of the estimated 1.8 million people that live with HIV in Nigeria, at the moment, we have succeeded in identifying and placing on treatment 1.6 million people. So if you like, you can say we have 200 plus more thousand to go. But we realize that these 200 plus one to go, it's not easy to find. These are the groups that we're referring to when we say end inequalities. So, and this inequality largely now affect the AYP.
Further in his remark, Dr. Gambo gave some statistics that underscores the existing inequalities with the demography in terms of access to HIV services.
It is important to note that 320,000 out of the estimated 1.8 million that live with HIV in Nigeria belong to this category, adolescents and young persons. More so, it is important also to know that among this category, there is rising new infection or new cases that have been detected, up to 24,000 annually. And still among this group, the females that are aged 15 to 24 have the lowest viral load suppression.
The wife of the president, Dr. Aisha Buhari, was represented by Special Assistant on African First Lady's Peace Mission, Dr. Mairo Almakura.
The challenge of inequality in accessing HIV/AIDS services, which is further deepened by the socio-economic disparities, has created an increasingly worrisome situation that requires collective action. I commend the commitment of NACA and other partners for their sustained strategy and inclusive efforts towards tackling HIV.
The debate session on whether the knowledge of HIV is important to the well-being of adolescents and young people was very insightful, after which the winner and runners-up were presented with prizes.
What we want people to know is that there is an act against HIV stigma and discrimination. And the act has two components. There is the jail component, there is the fine component of it. So it can be both, actually, depending on the gravity. People with HIV live normal life. They work as productive as any member of the community. And among them are intelligent people, hardworking people. Why should we discriminate against them? If we stigmatize people and we discriminate, it puts them away from our hospitals. It prevents them from coming to our facility to know their status. It prevents them from coming to our facilities to take these medications that are very helpful. So stigma is a number one enemy for us in fighting HIV disease and in controlling HIV disease. And we will be all out against it.
The next day featured a scientific and technical session themed Epidemic Control and a Sustainable HIV Financing in Nigeria in the Face of COVID-19. Finally, officials of NACA, relevant ministries, departments and agencies, implementing partners, civil society and community-based organizations, among other stakeholders, were gathered for the flag-off ceremony of the 2021 World AIDS Day celebration. The Director General, NACA, Dr. Aliyu Gambo, delivered the opening remarks.
World AIDS Day is that day when we come together to remember people who have lost their lives to HIV/AIDS, those who have sacrificed and fought HIV for the last 40 years and they are still fighting, And our patients that are out there that are battling the virus in their body and, helping us to have this hope that, yes, HIV can be controlled and the control can be sustained. And I want to say Nigeria is on the fast track lane to controlling HIV epidemic. So, and you may not be wrong to say Nigeria is among the foremost countries now on the watch list in terms of the race to control HIV. And this is courtesy of the collaborative work that has been done strenuously for the last 20 years.
Several goodwill messages were delivered, beginning with that of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Dr. Adeleke Mamora.
Since taking over the helm of affairs of the country in 2015, our commitment to the HIV response, as well as the support from all stakeholders, have significantly impacted the HIV response positively. We recognize the impact of the global financing environment and the need for shared responsibility in order to end AIDS in Nigeria by 2030. The federal government has consistently increased domestic resourcing of AIDS response by making available resources annually to place additional 50,000 clients on life-saving medicines. This has been included in the appropriation for the last 3 years. Also exploring innovative ways of financing the response is yielding the desired result, as the private sector, through the leadership of NACA, has established the private sector funded HIV Trust Fund. It is heartwarming to know that we are closing the gap rapidly.
The Honorable Minister of Health was represented by Dr. Omobolanle Olowu, Director, Public-Private Partnership Unit. Senator Oladipo Odujiri, the Chairman, NACA Governing Board, and Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Paul Ntalive, also delivered goodwill messages.
Let me begin by congratulating the Director General of NACA, Dr. Gomba Aliu, and his dynamic team for taking the lead on this. As the one-time chairman of the board of NACA, my experience and my closeness to the grassroots reinforces the importance of political leadership built on teamwork to help end the AIDS pandemic. Finally, I want to assure you of the ministry's readiness to work with you in sustaining the drive for financing the sector. I call on all of us, the ambassadors, to drive this process of intensifying advocacy and ensuring that we all are ambassadors in controlling HIV/AIDS.
The theme for the year is about sustaining the financing. Presently, most of the bulk of the financing is from international donors. Government of Nigeria, through His Excellency the Head of State, President Buhari, has graciously added 50,000 every year on treatment. But it's still a drop in the ocean. We need the private sector, we need the states, subnationals, to also join the fight.
The theme for this year, End Inequalities, End AIDS through Sustainable HIV Financing, reaffirms our commitment to mobilizing additional sustainable domestic financing for HIV and integrating financing for HIV within broader health financing. I am pleased to inform you that we have made significant strides with inclusion of antiretrovirals on the National Health Insurance medicines list. Nevertheless, the contribution from bilateral and multilateral donors will remain important to ending AIDS in Nigeria by 2030.
There were also goodwill messages by representatives of the Network of People Living with HIV and AIDS in Nigeria, Country Coordinating Mechanism Nigeria of Global Fund, UN System, and US Government.
So we have approximately 1 million people living with AIDS are women, or HIV are women. 550,000 are men, and about 53,000 are children. And that's important to understand the dynamics of the disease. And that we have to reach the people who probably have the least access to healthcare, which is generally women, and make sure that every pregnant woman, as we've said, does not pay fees. They get antenatal testing. That way we can be sure that their babies are born without HIV. No baby in the US or in Nigeria needs to be born with HIV.
If we're able to identify everybody and put them on care, then we're addressing the inequality. Because we're able to mobilize people and about 1.6 on treatment, it's a good thing. But we must ensure those within close setting, the key population, and take action and eliminate all inequality issues. All what we are after, people to have access.
Let us remind ourselves on this World AIDS Day that inequalities affect us all, no matter who we are or where we are from. Let's work together to end these inequalities and invariably to end AIDS as a public health threat. We want Nigeria to build on the momentum that it has achieved and ensure sustainable financing of HIV through initiatives such as the HIV Trust Fund.
If you look at the inequality we are talking about here, to be honest with you, if we stay within the health sector, we're not going to, move the needle. If we have to address the inequality we're talking about. For women, you gave us the data, the disparity between men and women. And of course, tied to the women is the children, which is our major, what I would call the Achilles heel of Nigeria's HIV/AIDS response. PNTC has always been there consistently, bringing us down. So it's a challenge to all of us, not just to NACA or NASCAP, but also to Women Affairs, correctional centers, donors, and technical partners to come together to galvanize our resources, our know-how, and be bold to think and move outside the box to see how we can address that issue. Because until we address that, we may never close that last mile that we are all aiming towards.
Globally, people in custodial centers and other closed settings, including people working in custodial centers, are at increased risk of HIV. As the Nigerian custodial centers and the Nigerian Correctional Service, we believe that quality health service is important for correction in line with our 3 R's mandates of reformation, rehabilitation, and reintegration. Neglect of people in custodial centers and other closed settings will be detrimental to these core mandates of Nigerian Correctional Service. The HIV response in custodial centers and other closed doors settings should always be an integral part of national health response.
Commemorating World AIDS Day remains crucial as it serves as a clarion call to the fact that the fight against HIV is yet to be won. There is still a critical need for continued funding, increased awareness, improving education, and the fight against stigma and discrimination, amongst other competing issues.
Sister! Where you dey rush dey go like this now? Take am easy now.
Na hospital I dey go to do HIV test.
Na everything you dey do HIV test. Before you carry belle, you do HIV test. Now you dey rush go do another HIV test. Wetin you dey find, you go see am o.
No be so, my sister. HIV test no be bad thing o. Na make I know my status so that no matter the result, my pikin no go get HIV.
HIV fit pass from mama to pikin?
Yes o. During pregnancy or labour or even when we dey breastfeed the pikin. Yes, and my husband dey road dey come sef, he go meet me for hospital. We go do the test together.
Hey, your husband na man he be. But wait o, una no dey fear. What if the result come out positive?
Fear wetin na? HIV no be death sen ten ce. And medicine don dey to take manage am. See, nowadays people wey get HIV they live their life normal like everybody else.
You sure say I no go follow you go do my own so?
Wait till you wait for now. Come make we go, Jare. With quick action, we fit stop this HIV waka from mama to pikin. Go do your own HIV test today.
For more information on HIV and AIDS and related diseases, or to report suspected cases of stigma and discrimination, violence and human rights violation, please call the National Call Center toll-free on 6222. Reach us via social media at National Call Center or email callcenter@naca.gov.ng and visit our website on naca.gov.ng. And that's our package. End inequalities, end stigma and discrimination, and we will be several steps closer to ending AIDS in Nigeria. Till next week on The Last Mile with NACA, know your status and take action. I am Ade Suwelsi. Thank you for watching.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The act of making something more beautiful by adding ornaments to it is also known as decoration. Today, so many men and women hardly do without decorating their events. They choose the colors and the quality of materials befitting such an event. Invited guests and groups that grace the occasion normally come in their numbers with different attires conforming to the recommended colors. This practice is an indicator of cooperation and solidarity during ceremonies and festive periods. The purpose of wearing the dress can be to serve as self-identification with age mates, relations, or friends during social occasions such as weddings, funerals, or parties. The word Asho in Yoruba means cloth, and Ebi denotes family. So, Ashobi can be described as a family cloth usually worn during parties or family ceremonies or occasions. However, others call it anko, and many adopt the white man model, which is uniform.
When it first started, it was just the headgear. All the members wearing the same color. Gradually, today, they have moved down even to the dress and the handbag. Handbag to match, and even shoes.
The question then is, how do we practice in our own locality in Benue State?
Because of our association with the outside world, our people are bringing it and introducing it now in Benue State.
They use it in order to make their events colorful. Almost all the Tiv traditional marriages, you see them making black and white ashobi. So for the Idomas, it's red and black. Then the Igede is blue and black on the traditional marriages, and even on the white weddings, they use black and white.
How do you feel when your event is accentuated with different colorful attires?
so much excited because I will know that at least I have a group, as in people that have identified with me on my day.
I will be so excited, so joyous inside me. I will know that yes, so people, everybody will know that yes, these are so people, he belongs to them, so it makes you happy.
What happens if the guests come with attires whose colors do not correspond with those recommended?
It is not as if it is a must that you must wear shobi. It's not for everybody. So if the chief celebrant sees somebody who is not into that attire, why will he or she not welcome the person?
There are factors that could make people to disappoint you in that way. Some, it could be that they don't have the money to afford the material given. So it could be that they don't like wearing the same clothes with so many people.
In as much as decoration is aesthetic to an event, people whose attires do not conform with the color of the day should be free to partake in the merrymaking or identify with others wearing the same uniform. After all, the essence of attending any party is just to celebrate with others and have a nice time. So, next time you're going out for that occasion, the choice is yours. Stay with the crowd or have your own unique identity.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Do you even go to church in this Lagos? Eh? These are the people that killed your son in the night. The boy had already died before he got into the hospital.
Mommy, please.
That you are called like this. Ha! It's more than a privilege.
I go to his house. There was this thing, maybe it's a boy or a girl, can't even tell. Walked in and called me, hey, Abs.
Otumba has sacked his own son as CMD of the hospital. All the nurses and doctors that were involved in the incident that night, he has fired also. If that is not enough, he has offered to send your wife for IVF treatment in any of the best hospitals anywhere in the world. Say your thing.
Sorry to break it to you, but I win this time.
I'm not taking off my shirt.
Yes, you are.
I am not taking
No,
off
you
my
are.
shirt. I'm not taking off my
Yes, you are. Where are you going?
Stop. Stop it. Stop it, Jerry.
Come here, Joe. Push it. It's not, I promise you, it isn't what you think it is. I can explain. If you just sit down, let's talk. Awazi. Awazi, listen.
What? What can you explain to me? That of all the lawyers
in the entire world. Or Badmus had to be the lawyer you picked.
Awazi, listen. I promise you I was going to tell you.
Of course you will. If your mother hadn't come accusing you, I would never have heard of anything. I would never have heard you were filing a case. Not to mention the lawyer of your choice. Your beloved ex-girlfriend, who you cheated on me with, Derek.
Awazi, I swear to you on my honor, I was going to tell you.
Fire her.
What?
Wallahi, Darren, I said fire her.
Awazi, I can't do that now. Come on, I've gone way too far with all of these things.
Wallahi, Kallahi, Darren. Wallahi, Karina Muwayo. Karina Muwayo, you've taken my simplicity for stupidity. And if you think that I will sit back here and watch you and Okpe play with my heart as you deem fit, you definitely have something coming for you.
Mami. I can't.
Karo komi.
Ṣé kò sí?
Ṣé kò sí? Àbí mi ló yẹ kí n máa bí ẹ bóyá kò sí. Ìgbà tó jórí iṣẹ́ àlọ́ tó ń sùn sí. Me short o. I am not a fool. And I know that even Sisi Mola agrees with me on this Otumba's issue. You're just being stubborn.
Mami, please. It's too early, okay? I'm tired. Can you please just leave me alone?
Hey, it's too early.
Yes.
It's too early to have sex. Dako buru. Oh, it's yemi. Sisi me. Morning. Kemi. Tare la meso.
They're not there now.
Madam, good morning. No. I been dey look for my sister, Sophie.
Sophie?
Sophie.
But Sophie talks say na only brother she been get now. This one where you can't come say they look for your sister. This kind of thing tire me.
Oh, madam, no vex. You know, say me said they talk that kind of thing sometimes. People where they from polygamous background, and so then they react to, you know.
What's it call me your name?
My name is Cynthia.
Cynthia. Okay. And you be the Cynthia where she they talk about sometimes.
Yes, now me.
Why she not gonna talk say you